again.
Oh, reckon again. All right, well, everybody stands up. This pleases me to do. Yay!
Just wing it out there.
Yeah, these windows don't open. So, all right, you get no assistance again today. Last week you had governors to help you. This week it's solo. So, four-way test.
This is the truth. Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
All right, stop.
We need to start it.
Of the things we say and do.
Let's see. Everybody's got a different way to do
Jessica's
it.
gonna start it.
Look, Jessica.
Of the things we think,
Say and do.
is
Is it the truth?
Is it fair to all concerned?
Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Yay!
Oh, I got that wrong.
Good morning, everybody. All right. Guests. I believe that you are a guest because you're sitting next to me. So I'll let you introduce yourself, though.
I apologize to her for that. I sat down.
I'm Bree Taroni. I was in Las Cosas Rotary for 4 years and currently work for Humboldt County and do eligibility work and looking for a new club.
Back table.
Oh.
Hi.
Well, I had my daughter Tasha here this morning. I'd like to introduce.
I see a guest here.
Yep. Patty Campbell, my guest.
And we have our speaker list on. Do you have a guest on?
Susan Seeman.
Conveniently, also our speaker today.
And the mayor of the Eureka, or city of Eureka.
Well, you have two guests then, I suppose. Or
Everybody can play.
yes, you have lots of people. All right, so let's just jump right into announcements. Back table. Don't all jump up. It's okay because I know there are announcements here. Here. No. Let's just jump right here.
You should have all seen it. You should have all received an email asking about sign-up genius for the project at the Bayside Community Hall that's coming up on the week of the 11th. We have 4 days available, 2 shifts each day. From Monday, Tuesday, prepping, sanding, scraping, filling, and then Friday and Saturday for paint. We also have other projects that are ongoing there, so you can see a lot of things happening, developing over there. Howard's got a clipboard that he's going to pass around again that also mirrors the sign-up genius. If you haven't signed up on the sign-up genius, please sign up on the clipboard and Howard will put your name in. Thank you.
Please
That is
volunteer. You asked for a hands-on project opportunities. This is it. This is a big SWAT project for the years. So let's
Don't make me sign up for all the slots. I will sign up for all of them if I have to.
This weekend is the Oscars, and for those who are into Eureka Theater, it's one of our best events. It's a black tie event. Doors open at 4 o'clock, 4:30, and it's a good event if you've not done this one in Eureka. Tickets are $25 and $30 at the door. So anyway, yeah, see you there.
Excellent. All right. There's an announcement right
We could use somebody to deliver for backpacks for kids if anybody's available.
Oh, thank you. Excellent. Excellent. Any other announcements? All right.
Brandon's promotion.
Do you have a promotion? Did you have a promotion? Oh, yes, you did have a promotion. You see, I'm supposed to know that, and I'm supposed to announce what you're actually doing. Do you know what that is? Do you want to come up front and talk about it? It's more fun. It's more fun for you to say than it is for me. I mean, it's actually really fun for me to say, but okay, I'll shut up now.
So, was it last week?
That's last week.
I was invited to the Taste of Spring fundraiser to help. And I say that because I literally thought I was just there to help. And then they get about 5 minutes in the meeting, they go, you know, we just need a chair. And it was like one of those, like, they all just turned to look, and they all looked at me, and I was like, oh, I get why I'm here now. And I gladly accepted. You can blame me now for everything that goes wrong or whatever, if it goes good. Okay. But yeah, I'm still obviously, I've never chaired anything, so. But then again, that's good and bad. So I don't have a bad record, and I also don't have a good record. Charity. But I'm happy, I'm willing to take it, and I'm running with it. I'm reaching out to the vendors today, so that's, you know, that's a good thing. Probably should get those guys going. And yeah, we'll keep you posted. And if I need help, I'll let you know.
So, yeah, I was going to say, this is the beautiful part. Now that you stood up here, you get to see of people.
Yeah.
Everyone that didn't make eye contact, you have to go harass. But everyone who did, you can just go straight to them and tell them you need help.
That's true. Rob was looking at me. But I think he likes to look at me. Yeah.
I have one more announcement. I really like these potatoes.
I guess there's another food-related announcement. Sorry, you brought a guest and I don't have bacon for you today. You?
Well, I'm not waiting yet.
Oh, okay. You always tell me about bacon. I will say that every morning we have bacon and he's here.
Makes me very happy.
Thank you.
Makes me want to be club president someday. About 30 years.
About 30 years.
That's like a campaign call.
All right. So,
Well,
I'm finally starting to get order on things right. So, the raffle.
Oh, yeah.
Raffle. Yes, raffle. We're going to do the raffle before.
Do they know that?
Let the mayor drive.
One at a time. 694-5941. Wait, 941? 5941. Hey, Laura. Where are we? Laura.
Big money, big money, big money.
Joker.
Okay, Susan, I'm a constituent. I want you to know that.
$953.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, all right, I got the red one.
The blue one.
The blue one.
I have to come back here.
Well, $5 for an option. So,
We have a bonus final Friday, and that is today. We're going to do this rapidly, and Maggie's going to auction, but we're going to start with Scott's auction item.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah.
I got a spot. We're good. It's kind of, today is weird.
As you all know, coming up is the HSU athletics auction. And we lost football this year. That doesn't mean we don't have a lot of student athletes that still need our support. There's been a bit of a groundswell to boycott the auction, and all that hurts is our student population. It doesn't do anything to the football program that we've now lost. It doesn't do anything to the management that's running the auction. It hurts the students. So, that being said, we always buy multiple tables, my wife and I. And I supported HSU athletics before I met Robin, but now, of course, I have a thing that we're so we always have more than one table. So this year, we are donating a table to this auction. And I have 8 tickets to go to have your own table. And then we went around and told people at the athletic department that we were doing this. Every one of the remaining athletic coaches donated something from their sport. We have rowing hats, volleyball, scarves, that just have the logos on them. We wear lumberjack t-shirts. And then cross country, volleyball camp, soccer, volleyball again, men's and women's basketball. Got a really cool women's soccer sweatshirt, a really cool men's softball sweatshirt. So this is all part of the package that you get to have if you are a little better. Now, this is table 6. Evening of April 6th, and it's a table for 8. So what I'm hoping we could do is maybe if somebody wanted to buy the whole package here and bring 7 of their closest friends. Or we can sell seats and have a Rotary table, and that's 8 seats. So it's really up to you guys on how it starts to bid.
What are the dates again? I'm sorry.
April 6th, evening of April 6th. It's coming up. I'm going to leave it to Maggie to decide what we're going to do. If we get enough people to bid, or if you want one person to bid on the whole thing. Face value is $800 for the tickets, and then all the swag, of course, but it's all been paid for already, so really it's whatever you want to pay to have the table. Thank you.
Who would like to go to this? Let's start with who would like to go. Okay.
So we've got,
We've got,
4 on the table right there?
you want 2 tickets? You want
And then
2
the
tickets?
first person that bids should also get their choice of what swag.
Right, so we got, 2 tickets for, who else is interested? 2 for you, and there's 8 total, right? You want 1?
Tax season. I'm a
2,
tax
4,
widow.
6, so who would like to be Romy's date for this event? Come on, that's a pretty good deal. I'm kind of tempted.
Well, Maggie.
Okay. I mean, I'm not saying I'm kind of tempted. I am totally tempted. I want to go with you, but okay. So
There's something fabulous, but no.
I totally want to go. Well, these tickets are worth $100 each. Can I get a? Who's going?
Who's doing 2 tickets?
I would donate $200, but I can't go where I'm town.
Oh, Romy, our tickets are paid for. That's awesome. Okay. All right. So that was great. So she set the bar at $100 a ticket. So can we match that? All the rest of us?
Yeah.
We'll match that, and then Joyce, you get to pick.
People can just
Your swag.
do a raffle.
Pick your swag. People that you think would enjoy the auction and would bid on the raffle items or the other stuff that's going on there and enjoy the dinner
What
and
did
the
we come up
speakers.
with? We came up with 6 or 8.
It's 6, right?
One, two, three,
Oh no, it's 8.
5, 6,
2,
7, 8.
2.
We're
We
8.
got 8. We got 8. So we're good.
Okay, we need to know who they are.
It is Bob, it is Julie, it is Dick, it's Romy, and it's me.
And then
And the
it's-
first
and-
are but Bob and I are each getting 2. And Dick,
Right.
are you getting 2? Oh,
Yeah, we're got it covered, and then Judge Joyce has donated to $200.
So then we gotta give out the stuff.
I'll take a scarf.
Okay,
We'll do this afterward.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Did we do $800 and did we sell all the tickets?
Yes, no, we have 1,000.
Yeah, we paid 1,000 for that.
And we sold all the tickets.
We sold 8 tickets, she put in 200.
Oh, I see. April 6th.
Put it on your calendar now.
Julie, Dick, Bob, Romy, and Maggie. Hey, we sold them all, plus 2. We got $1,000. Yeah!
Will it be near your table?
We have beer. We have beer.
Thank you, Charlie, for beer.
I'd like to start this at $50.
Tell us about it, Charlie.
We got 50?
What's in the fall? Okay.
You know, it's beer. It's beer. We know it's beer.
If someone goes 75, you get to take home a vase of flowers.
Or not. 75? Do I have 75? I'm going to sell this for 50. This guy's got it for 50. Going once, going twice, sold for 50. And then we have another one. Well, we're not going to drink it right now. We got this. Anybody want to buy IPA? It's, what's IPA?
Lagunitas IPA.
$50.
$50.
Who doesn't need beer? Okay, Tom will do 50. Anybody want to take that from Tom? Anyone want to take it from Tom? $60? Anyone want to do it? Okay, we got, Tom's got that for 50.
Thank you.
What do we have here? This is
Charlie, you want to tell us about the glasses?
Oh, so very short run, like a dozen of those pint glasses that with a very special logo on it. You can put whatever you want, but it goes really well with beer, as do those snacks.
Alrighty.
Yummy.
Alrighty.
Pretzels, chocolates, sea
Boom,
salt,
chicka boom.
popcorn.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do I have an opening bid for this?
So it was how many glasses?
2 glasses? Has anyone broken their beer glasses lately? Come on, be honest. Thomas is like, yeah.
Only 12 made.
Only 12 made?
So it's 2 of the 12 that were made.
12.
2 of 12, okay, $50. Who would like these special vintage glasses?
I'll bid $50.
$50. $50 for 2 of 12. You've got bragging rights on these. These, however, they've made a lot. So
They've made a lot of them.
all right, we're going for 50, going once, going twice, sold, Terry for 50 bucks. What do we have? Okay, Rogan. Rogan.
All right, so this is your heavy hitter Rotary shirt. Then it's a medium. And
Like when I was in
when you got your heavy hitter Rotary shirt on, then you also get a bottle of heavyweight Barrington Hitchcock wine to go with it. So heavy hitter, drinking some heavyweight.
Right.
That's a really rare shirt.
This is a rare medium. I'm going to start this at $75. Come on, guys. Nobody wants it.
I think it's the size of the
I know, it's probably medium.
It's a medium.
But the wine is good.
But the wine, all right, for the wine. Barrington Hitchcock, heavyweight.
We got 50 from Julie. Anybody else want to take this from Julie? 50 going once, going twice, sold to Julie. And then we have. Who's this from?
That's from me. And it's called What I'm Doing Tonight. Hey, it depends on how.
All right, this is from your president. It's called What I'm Doing Tonight. I don't know what he's doing tonight because he's giving this away.
There is one problem with it. There's some salt in the back, and what I'll be doing is throwing that away. But I put that in there in case someone, needs salt with their tequila.
Oh, okay, all right, all right.
2 bottles. Or limes.
2, I mean, come on.
Limes are good for other stuff. They stop scurvy.
We're going to start this at $50. $50, it's quite a
I'll
deal.
bid 50.
50, okay.
Oh, wait. I think she needs 50.
We have a bid out here too.
60, we got 60. Anybody, do I have 70? 70, anybody 70? Come on, you can't do this. You can't do this. You can do this, all right. I can't do it. You got it for 60. If nobody's going to take, all right, $60. What is your name? Don't let her leave. All right, thank you.
So, since we added a bonus Final Friday and we're doing things a little bit out of order, and I do have a Paul Harris Fellow to award for somebody who wasn't here last week but is here this week, Rachel.
Yay!
All right, way to go. And so we have some nice spices. Do I know who brought these? Do I guess it would be Terry? There we go.
Okay, so this is once again my favorite spice company. I'm the person who doesn't cook, but I make my husband happy by bringing spices home, and I made him over happy because there were lots of duplicates. So anyway, there is rosemary, paprika cloves, berry seasonings, and salt-free seasonings, and they're really fragrant and wonderful, and they last, and they're great in pretty much anything you can think of. Maybe not gin.
So Terry, what do you do with it?
Hands them to your husband and say that's for dinner.
All right. So who wants to start off with $50 for these spices? That's a good price for these. These are really great spices. Anybody need spices? I feel so sad. No one wants spices today.
You usually let us get some coffee in us first.
We're also bland.
Okay, then we're gonna save it for next time. We are feeling more spicy.
I'm gonna give these to Nick.
So the last one is, when Terry asked me to get something for last week, I said, okay. So I quit my job, I bought it, I cashed in my 401, and I had about enough money to buy a ticket to go to South Africa. So I flew to South Africa. Wow. And I brought back some things from South Africa. I don't know if you guys have ever had a bit long. It was tired.
What's that first thing?
It's better than beef jerky. It's air-dried, thinly sliced beef. It's called Kalahari Bitlong. And then we have some rooibos tea, which is they call it bush tea over there. It's very good if you buy this here locally. 80 things. It's very expensive. And then the real reason I went was for this. It's called amarula, and it's cream liqueur made with the amarula fruit tree. And the reason there's an elephant on it is the elephant eats the ripe fruit and gets drunk. So if you've ever seen a drunk elephant, it's kind of fun. And then, of course, coming back, they confiscated that at the airport. So I ended up going to Bevmo and buying that. So if you like it. And then, whoops, a little wall hanging. And then a little garlic grater, thin grater for you two happen to cook, which no one here does. So. And then a bag for shopping. So does anybody want this? If not, I'll take it. I'll go back.
Wait, you'll go back to Africa if we don't buy this? Everyone quiet, I'll throw in a lot of money.
You're so mean. If not, I'll hold on to it till you guys wake up. Anybody? Want to start a bid? $50?
50.
Got 50? Do I have 50 or do I have 75? 75. We have 75. Do I have 80? Because I know we're going slow today. We're going to sell it because we got to move on to our program. Anybody last call 75? All right, sold. That is a good deal. $75. All right. So, what's our final? What do we have?
13.
We're working on it.
Is that wrong? Am I that wrong?
75.
So,
all right.
As you know, you can either write a check to the Rotary Foundation and give it to me, or I'll take cash, or you can use your card for Nick. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks for being flexible.
Yes.
Before we do our program, Joyce, it's going to make it a nothing.
All
Is this
right.
3 weeks in a row?
It is, so that's all good news. So you'll find at the table an email that you should have already received in your inbox on February 14th from Howard. It has the recognitions email on it, so no one has an excuse. If you don't think you have it, then take one of those with you, but you can just save it to your contacts, because what I want you to do is, if you see somebody doing something, take a picture, send it to me. If you do something, take a picture, send it to me. That way we'll get to be able to interact more. But how I pick who's up here every week is random number generation. They've got them online, I figured it all out. And so if you see somebody twice, just make sure they buy a lottery ticket, because they came up. First of all, just call Scott out. He's not going to be recognized because he said, hey, I'm talking twice, leave me alone. So I am, because he didn't understand the random number generation, but that's the last pass that he's going to get. I want to, first, Laura, though, she was wonderful. She had the whole spirit of the whole thing. She said, all I'm doing, stand up. All I'm doing is a documentary about ACEs and playing with my granddaughter. And so she sent not one, but a series of very adorable pictures. So she was very enthusiastic, and this is exactly what we're hoping for. But Laura, do you want to say a few words yourself about this and what you're doing?
So I am working on a documentary for PBS North Coast and the North Coast Grantmaker on childhood trauma, which is ACEs, and how it leads to health issues here in Humboldt County. And it's an intense project, and I think of all of you Rotarians often while I'm working on it. It'll be done October 1st, and Joyce is helping some. And it's kind of heavy, so in my off time, I just get goofy with my step-granddaughter, and we just make a bunch of silly faces and have fun.
Yay! Jessica, though, very timely said, I am way too busy in tax season, so make something up. And I thought, rather than make it up, I'll go online. And so, Jessica, there's something about
What have I done?
It's about being boss.
Oh, okay.
So can
I
you
did
talk
write
about
an
that?
article for
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
So how long ago?
Oh, it was a year and a half or so ago, I think. It's a podcast that I started listening to a few years ago, and I very much like it. I think that they give really good guidance and suggestions for creative entrepreneurs. And as I work to expand my knowledge about information I can share with my clients, I get geeky about business podcasts. Anyway. On one of the episodes, the gal was talking about, I just don't understand taxes. They always tell me I owe so much, blah, blah, blah. So I was just trying to explain sort of the ins and outs of being self-employed and how you should think about pricing your services and then also setting money aside to be able to cover your self-employment taxes.
So if you're interested in that, Google Being Boss Jessica Knight and get all the information on her article.
There we go.
Thank you. So I want to thank Rachel. She responded timely. She said, I don't know what to talk about. But Rachel, go ahead and talk about what you wanted to say about I'll try to walk to end.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if we ever brought it up, but the window for fundraising ended at the end of December, and Humboldt County ended up raising over $100,000, and our goal was $78,000. So I thought that was pretty cool, and a lot of Rotarians were a big part of that. So thank you.
Thank you. So Bob didn't respond at all.
No.
But so I decided that.
It was random generation. I just thought I'd throw the dice and see what I came up with.
Well, stand up then, because I did come up with something. I didn't bring pictures, so I decided not to do Bob Johnson. It's like, how much would you get if you were to do Bob Johnson? So I don't actually copy any of them.
Okay.
So, but you do Bob and Sue Johnson, and the first one that comes up is wife saves husband. And so there's this whole article about wife saves husband. That was kind of nice, but a little bit deep. So the next one was an obituary, and I thought, nah, I'm not going to bring that up. So I did bring a picture. The third one is higher ed jobs. There is a Bob and Sue Johnson professorship of crop management at Monterey Bay, and which they said Monterey is the salad bowl of California. And so do you know anything about?
Down there, the lettuce and the strawberries and stuff like that.
So yeah, do you know anything about crop management?
No.
Do you know anything about professorship?
No.
So this must not be you.
No. Can't be me.
All right. So
Oh, I'm getting set up here.
yeah, no, that's it. So do you know anything about salad bowls? Sure. Okay. What do you know about salad bowls?
We have a lot of them at home. Some bigger, some smaller.
Every one of them being moved?
Oh, especially, the thing I like the best is my bear claws that I got in like Nova Scotia or whatever from Canada, those wooden bear claw things to go with myself.
All right. Well, very good. So that is Bob's recognition for not participating yet.
This is the claws thing. You don't have a sign. She goes like this.
Bob?
That's right. And so other people did.
Can I butt in? I want you to tell us the story of when you were in charge of recognitions and you looked up a member of our club named Guy Joy.
I did, and Guy Joy he's an artist, lives up in McKinleyville.
Yeah, it's not.
And I said, I went looking for things, and I just said, you got to be careful if you Google Guy Joy, what might come up.
Yeah, so I have to be a little careful about so that's our recognition. So it's much more fun if you play along.
All right.
So how it works is I random generate 10 names. I send out an email to each of you individually. It is the email that you've given to Howard. So if you're not getting the emails, either this one or from me when it comes up, that's because you have to fix your email with Howard. So it's also serving as a service to the club to make sure you have the most current email. So thank you all. We'll try to do this every week when Ray has time. and we'll be able to get through that.
All right. Now, I get to introduce our program today. We have Susan Seeman, the Mayor of Eureka, too. But that's not why you're here. She's here as the Program Director for AEDC. She's been working in economic development for 12 years, trying to address the issues important to our business community. She has 2 kids, both recent college grads. This year. Today, she's going to talk about a program, more experiment, AEDC has been working on to address local workforce issues, Workforce Weekend.
So I'm Susan. I know a lot of you, which is always a nice thing to see people you know this early in the morning. This is not normally my time to be functional, so we'll see how I can pull this together. I will say, though, that when I was in bed this morning dreading coming, I did go on my Workforce Weekend page and got a few statistics and things to not have to get out of bed. So let me tell you a little bit about this program. For years, we have heard we have 2 narratives in Humboldt County, basically, and we hear them over and over again. One is that there are no jobs, there is no opportunity. And the other from industry leaders is that there's nobody to do the jobs that we have. We have so many jobs. So for years, I've been looking at how do we close that gap between those 2 narratives, because obviously there's something that's been missed. So we were looking at research that was done by the job market, as well as HSU. HSU's business department did some research with their students about what they were expecting from work, how prepared they felt for work, if they wanted to stay local, what they wanted to do. So they had a lot of those questions, and then the job market was asking employers, what are you looking for in an employee, what do you need? And I tried to pull things that we could work with. There are a few things that came up over and over again. One of them from employers was, in terms of what they were looking for, technical skills was at the bottom of the list. Over and over we heard, if we could just get the right person, we could train them to do the job. That's what we need. But when we ask for applications, when we're looking for employees, we ask what are your skills, what is your education, and we eliminate anybody who does not meet those skills enough. So you're missing out on an opportunity to talk to a lot of people. So we noticed that. We noticed that there were a lot of HSU students who did not expect to stay in Humboldt, but said if they could find a job, they would stay in Humboldt. So we're pulling these little pieces together, and I came up with this experiment called Workforce Weekend. Oh, there are a couple other things. We're a rural community. This is a very rural kind of experiment. We have a lot of jobs, but we don't have a lot of any one kind of job. So if you're interested in a specific career path, you're not going to be able to look at the one ads and find 20 marketing jobs available or 20 accounting jobs. But you can find one here or there. Accounting jobs, yes, you can find 20 anytime. That was a bad example. There's a lot of them. Yeah, there are. So what we want to do is we want people to understand that even if that job's not available the month that you're looking for work, it could be available at another time. So we came up with this idea that's part dating site, part job fair. And it's a web-based platform where we have asked businesses to participate, and they put in their directory entry. And Ian was my very first directory entry, I'd like to announce, which was a very long time ago. You probably forgot all about the program. And so what they do is they say, this is the company, this is our company, this is our work culture, this is what it's like to work here, or why you would want to work here, and here are all the kinds of jobs. So advanced security, you might think, I don't want to sell security systems. But they have management roles and labor, administrative and finance. And so when you look at the job opportunities, you start to see that it's not maybe as narrowly focused as you thought. And I actually talked to somebody the other day who was applying, and she said there are several companies that she's applying to that she never even considered looking at before. So that's the point. That's what we wanted people to do, is to start thinking about places they would never apply for. Then the other thing we have is the application. And the application was, we worked on it with several leaders in workforce development and in the industry. So we had somebody from Sequoia Personnel on our team and somebody from Express Personnel, as well as several business owners. We said, what is it that you want to know? What really will help you understand what a potential applicant has to offer you, but don't ask them anything about their skills. So we start with, how do you define professionalism? Because in the HSU workshop, or the HSU research, they asked students, how professional do you feel? And they said they were very high. And we asked employers, how professional do you think HSU students are that are coming to you? And they did not rate quite so well. And really, how do you define professionalism? There's no one answer. So perhaps by the standards of what the students were thinking, they're very professional, and an employer's thinking something totally different. So we just start off, like, how do you define this? So we're at least working with the same language. And then we ask a bunch of other questions, like, how do you rank the kinds of work you like to do? Would you rather be at a computer, working with customers, in meetings? How do you prefer to communicate? Those kinds of things. I'm very excited, and it's a total experiment. We have no idea what's going to happen. So I've been, for a year, building the website. We opened it up for applications in November, I think, and Workforce Weekend is going to be next weekend. So we've had months for people to go online, and we've been promoting it and going out and talking about it. But what we all know is nobody does anything until the last minute. In fact, of the 50 total applications we got, 31 have come in the last 3 days. Which means all of the glitches in the system, we didn't hear about them until the last 3 days. So this is really a total pilot year. We also have figured out that we have some glitches in the system, because we had 186 accounts opened and only 50 applicants finished. So next year, we were hoping whatever those glitches are that keep people from finishing their applications, we can deal with. What else do I want to say about it?
When is the weekend?
It's March 1st and 2nd. And here's the thing that's really complicated about the weekend is there's really not a there. We have simply asked employers who get their, so what will happen, somebody will submit their application. They only have to fill it out once. It takes between, I'd say 40 minutes to 2 hours if you really think about it. It's almost like an interview type questions that you're going to be answering. They send it to all the businesses they're interested in with a little message introducing themselves. And for March 1st and 2nd, we've asked employers to set up interviews with the participants. So there's not a job fair per se where people have to show up someplace. They'll just go to your office and do an interview. The reason we picked one weekend, there are a couple of reasons we picked one weekend. One is, eventually if this ever gets big, it's an opportunity for us to reach out to maybe HSU students or previous, kids who grew up here and have moved away and don't know how to get back. So they can come up and interview with 4 or 5 companies, maybe in one weekend. So that's one reason. The other reason is because we are just like all of the applicants, and we're not going to do anything until we have to. So if we say, we'll send you these applications and get to it whenever you can, we'll never get to it. So by having a weekend date, that really kind of puts us all on notice that on this day, I'm really going to focus on developing my HR and personnel, because we get a lot of businesses who say, I really want to do this, but it's hard. I mean, if you run a small business, there's so much going on, but that's the ideal, and we really don't have enough time to do all of it.
Did you promote it to the students at the volunteer and job fair?
We were at the volunteer and job fair. We've been working with the HSU Career Center. Just in the last month, we got some money from the California Community Colleges and did a big media push. What I'm hoping next year is that now that we have our platform set up, we do need to work on the application, so we'll need to do some more technical updates for next year. But we're going to apply for a Headwaters grant that will be solely about marketing. So last year was all about figuring out what the heck this is, and next year will be all about marketing. I also have an HSU student who's working with me, so we asked two things. We have an application that goes to the employers, but we also have a demographic application that asks a lot of information so we can see who's kind of using the program. And so I have an HSU student who will be compiling that information, as well as calling and following up with businesses to find out if this was at all useful for them, following up with some of the applicants to find out where their frustrations were, the application, that kind of thing. So we'll be doing a lot of research over the next month to figure this out. I've been invited by the California Association of Local Economic Development to talk about this in Anaheim at the end of next month. So I'm hoping I have some good stories to tell them. But it's really a fun opportunity to just get out of our own way and meet. It's a formalized networking.
And so do the employers need to have positions available, or is this more an informational interview?
Excellent question. No, we don't. You don't have to have positions available. So this is an opportunity to interview with somebody, because a lot of times, there's something coming up in 3 months or 6 months, and so you could be like, don't quit your job at Starbucks and move down to Southern California. I've got a great one. We'll just keep in touch for the next few months. There are also opportunities where you go, oh my God, you have all kinds of skills that I need. I don't have that job yet. I can create it.
Maybe an unintended consequence. Yesterday I interviewed a candidate who's a skilled candidate, probably in her 50s, relocated here to be closer to her grandkids and is looking for a job. She's had great careers, but hasn't had to interview a whole bunch. She came in and said she just completed the application. She goes, boy, what a doozy. She goes, it was really long, but by the time I was done, I feel I'm so well prepared for any interview question that's going to come my way. So it's really doing a good job to help folks out there who are looking for, just that one thing alone, going through it. She goes, it took me an hour and a half, but I am really prepared now, thinking about myself in ways I wasn't before. So good job.
I'm really, it's interesting. I kind of look at it and get a little worried about it, but the HR folks that have read the application go, I love this. This is great. So I'm really excited about that.
The one application we got so far was new. We brought them in, and it was very clear that their written persona was much more comfortable speaking to those very self-introspective questions that are really important to find the right person. But it was also clear that having done that on paper before helped them immensely in the interview, because they, like you said, they already knew what to talk about. But the questions are exactly what we need to vet out a personality and what they're after, so that we don't bring somebody in that goes, oh no, you guys aren't for me. They already know, because you put a company profile up too that's about us. So before they even decide to apply to you, they already know what you're about. And that gets you so much closer to what you're looking for, even if, like you said, you don't have a position yet. We've hired people because we found the right person and created a position for them because we knew we needed that person on our team. So I think it's going to be very, very useful to our community.
I'm so excited. I mean, it's still, it's a big experiment, but
All the questions are legal?
all questions, all the questions on the application,
Yeah.
yes, because we did
Okay.
have, all the questions on the demographic information are not legal, but we
Right.
don't share any of them with
Okay,
them.
so the employer isn't going to know somebody's age or?
No.
Okay.
However, I was kind of randomly going through this morning, and what I found was 50s was really kind of the higher age that I saw, more than the 20s. So I'd say 50s and 20s were the two ages we saw. So I got the 5 minutes a minute ago, so.
You got time.
Okay.
You got time.
You may have other questions. I really like this bouncing off of each other, just like I said.
What's the website again?
It's workforceweekend.com.
I think one of the definitions of professionalism is showing up on time. And I was in HR for a long time, and it was amazing to me how many 20-somethings I had to explain to them why they needed to come to work on time. It was just something that never occurred to me.
You want to come to a staff meeting?
It never occurred to me to be late, and so sitting down, if you're not there on time, then the person who was supposed to leave when their shift ended and yours started, it's just crazy.
It's the soft skills, really, we spend a lot of time with soft skill questions and really getting people thinking about that as well.
I was freaking out because I needed to fire somebody, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have time. And then I get this email like 4 days ago And it was like 2 in the morning, I filled it out, and then I have 2 applicants.
I was gonna say, I
And
noticed
like,
this morning, I was looking through and I saw you got them, and you were like the last person to put a business directory up.
It's weird, they sound super awesome, I'm like, oh no, I want to hire them both, but. Anyway.
Well, I'm sorry to be providing you guys with too many good so if you didn't participate this year, you can participate next year. Tomas, we asked every applicant if they would be willing to share their applications with a third party, somebody like you or Express, and most of them said yes, so you'll be getting all kinds of information. Well, thank you so much for having me.
We made a donation to the Wheelchair Foundation, so thank you for being a speaker. And look, I actually did it in frame. I never do that. So thank you for being successful for us.
Thank you very much.
Ray, you did it in frame and the camera is on. I mean, it must be.
You know what? Only, 8 months in, and we finally firing on 2 cylinders. Yes! Wait. All right, so I think this was fun because that was about workforce, and that kind of ties into what I want to do. So we have some Rotarians who don't always want to be noticed. However, some of them I really have to notice. And since it was about workforce, the Rotarian of the Week this week has done a lot for jobs in high schools and vocation. And sorry, Jeff, I know you don't really love to be noticed for it, but I have to do it. And I've been waiting to do it, and you're here. And I love you, and I appreciate what you do, and everything you do is awesome. So you're the Rotarian of the Week. I'm going to let you track it.
Oh, good luck with that.
Wait. Okay. Still going? Hey, you get a bagel.
No, I'm stopping. I'm still tracking that.
Oh, fine. That's fine. I'll just walk back.
All right.
Okay, so I rushed through because I wanted to make sure that we had time, but we did everything. We did everything. So I rushed for no good.
Now we have time to fill backpacks.
To do the swag.
Yes, yeah, so people can pick up their swag. Backpacks. Who's loading backpacks today?
Oh, nobody. President.
There's some people. No backpacks. That's what you were saying, no backpacks. So all of you that are loading backpacks are not loading backpacks.
We get credit. Thanks, John.
Sorry.
Thanks, Brandon, for volunteering to drive.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's it. So on that note, I don't really feel like ringing the bell. There's time left, so somebody has to have something awesome at, let's say, the back table. Anything. Come on. You're on the
It's National Margarita Day.
It's National.
Are there special margaritas at different wine?
There are absolutely special margaritas.
Yeah, and guess what? It wasn't even a member of our club that bought the tequila basket. She knew. So hey, great. Back table. Anything? It's your chance. No? Charlie, I saw that look. No?
I shared everything last week. Sorry.
You always have something to say, right?
You know, the only thing that you talk about the soft skills and the whole thing. One of my favorite stories, my oldest son, it was home, and you know, he had not graduated yet, but you know, it was like, come on, you got to go out and get a job. You know, nobody is going to call you and offer you a job. And I'll be damned if within a week he goes, so Terry Clark called me today. Offered me a job, and I was like,
And he did a great job. I would have been happy not to call him if I had known I wasn't supposed to.
If he had had a workforce weekend, or you could have gone to the website and it would have been fine too. So it's all good. Anyway.
That was perfect. That is exactly what I was looking for. So, on that, Have a great weekend.